On YouTube, I make a lot of predictions. At the beginning of the seasons, I predict which players I think will win which NHL awards. I predict which teams I think will finish where in the standings. And when you make a lot of predictions, of course you are going to get some wrong. I mean, at the beginning of the year, I predicted that the Pittsburgh Penguins were going to fall out of the playoffs this season, and look at where they are now. They maybe look pretty stupid. So with all that being said, for today's video, I kind of want to shine some light on some players that I think are proving a lot of people wrong this season. These players had narratives surrounding them heading into the season that they have completely proven wrong with their play. So without wasting any more time, here are 5 NHL players proving everyone wrong this season. And if you guys are new and you want to see more NHL content like this, make sure to click that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. I might as well start off the video with the player that I already spoiled in the thumbnail, and that player is William Nylander of the Toronto Maple Leafs, a player who got a lot of criticism for the way he played last year after the contract holdout was over. And while yes, some of that criticism was warranted because he didn't have a good season last year whatsoever, some of the things that were said about Nylander just seemed downright disrespectful, and it was almost like people forgot how good of a player he was before the 2018-19 season. I mean, William Nylander is a guy who had back-to-back 61-point seasons before the age of 22, but still the narrative after last season was he's overpaid and the Leafs should try to trade him for a defenseman. But fast forward to right now, William Nylander has shut down a lot of that criticism, especially the overpaid talks, because honestly, now that contract is looking very good. So far this season, in 64 games, William Nylander already has 29 goals, which is a career high by the way, 28 assists for 57 total points. He's most likely gonna finish with up around 70 points. That is some pretty solid production for a player with his type of contract, and I don't really think anyone can look at what he's done this season and say that he's overpaid anymore. And throughout a season that has been very up and down for the Toronto Maple Leafs as a team, William Nylander has been one of their most consistent players. When you go back and think about everything that was said about William Nylander throughout last season and even throughout the summer, I think the way he's played this season, he has earned an apology from a lot of hockey fans. Moving on now to a player who has proven me to be extremely wrong this season, and that player is Artemi Panarin of the New York Rangers. When Artemi Panarin signed that massive contract with the New York Rangers in the offseason, I was pretty skeptical about it. I knew he was going to be good for them. I knew he was an all-star caliber player, but the Rangers are paying him like a superstar. And before this season, I never really viewed Artemi Panarin as one of the very elite players in the NHL, you know, up there with guys like David Pastrnak, Nathan MacKinnon, Sidney Crosby. But this season, the way he has played for New York, he has absolutely proven me wrong, and I'll be the first to admit that. So far this season, Artemi Panarin already has 32 goals and 58 assists for 90 points in just 64 games. That is 3 more points than he had in all 79 games he played last year. The 90 points is a career high, and he is playing like a superstar, like one of the best players in the NHL. And again, heading into the season, I didn't really see him as that type of player. I knew he could be like point per game and an all-star, but I didn't think he had this in him. And on top of Artemi Panarin having a fantastic individual season, you look at the way the entire team has been playing over the past couple of weeks. They currently only find themselves 4 points out of the second wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference. And if the New York Rangers do find themselves in the playoffs at the end of the year, Artemi Panarin probably won't win it, but he has to at least get some consideration for the Hart Trophy with the way that he's carried them throughout the year. And I honestly just had to have Panarin in this video just because of the things I said about his contract after it was signed and the way he's proven me wrong with his play this season. The next player we have to talk about is Valeri Nichushkin of the Colorado Avalanche. He's not a star like most of the other guys I'm going to talk about in the video, but I still think he was worth mentioning. And like Artemi Panarin, Nichushkin is a player who has personally proven me wrong this season. Nichushkin has had a pretty up and down pro hockey career ever since being drafted 10th overall in 2013 by Dallas. He came in and had a pretty strong rookie season with 34 points in 79 games, but after that it was pretty downhill for him. After a pretty lackluster season in Dallas in 2015-16, Nichushkin would then return to Russia and play the following 2 years in the KHL before then finally returning to Dallas to play in the NHL for the 2018-19 season. And it is safe to say that last season in Dallas for Nichushkin was a disaster. 57 games he played, did not score 1 goal, and then this past summer the Dallas Stars bought him out of the final year of his contract, making him a free agent. After the contract buyout happened, I personally thought his time in the NHL was done and that he would most likely just return to Russia and play most of his pro hockey career in the KHL. But as we all know, that wasn't the case, and the Colorado Avalanche decided to take a flyer on Nichushkin and sign him to a one-year contract. And that has proved to be a pretty smart move for Colorado. Like I said earlier when first talking about Nichushkin, he isn't a star caliber player, but he is an NHL player, and not only that, he is a pretty useful one for Colorado. He has kind of transformed his game and became a good penalty killer, a good physical presence in the bottom six who can chip in some offense here and there, and amongst all the injuries that Colorado has had this season, he has become a pretty big part of the depth of that team. In 60 games, Nichushkin has 12 goals, which is 12 more than the 0 he had last season, and 14 assists for 26 total points. Not groundbreaking numbers or anything, but still, it is 100% a step in the right direction for him. Nichushkin is up for a new contract at the end of this season. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. Colorado does have his rights, but hopefully they can both work something out because I'd love to see him stay in Colorado. But considering after last season, I thought his time in the NHL was done, and looking at where he's at right now, he has proven me wrong in a big way. The next player had a pretty big night last night, that player being Leon Draisaitl of the Edmonton Oilers. I think it is time that everybody gives Leon Draisaitl the respect that he deserves and recognizes him as a top 5 player in the entire NHL. Even after last night when the dude had 4 goals and 1 assist, a 5-point night, I still see people on Twitter saying that Leon Draisaitl is just a product of playing with Connor McDavid, and especially after last season when he had 105 points, that was a real thing. People were actually saying that Draisaitl isn't a top player in the league, he's just a product of playing with Connor McDavid, and that is just so wrong on so many different levels. Those people are acting like you can just put anybody with Connor McDavid and they can instantly become a 100-point player, which is not the case whatsoever. And it's not like Leon Draisaitl plays every single minute of 5-on-5 action with Connor McDavid either. The past couple of games, he's been centering his own line without Connor McDavid. At this point, it is really just tiresome, and honestly, at this rate, I think if he finished the year with 200 points, you would still have those people saying he's just good because he plays with Connor McDavid, which is just so ridiculous. Last season, Draisaitl finished the year playing all 82 games, scoring 50 goals and adding 55 assists for 105 points, and this season, already in just 66 games, he has 107 points. I think at this point, it's a safe bet to say he's probably going to win the Art Ross. He's going to get a good amount of consideration for the Hart Trophy as well. Overall, he's just had a ridiculously good year, and there's still over a month left in the season. If you're not yet a believer in Leon Draisaitl, I really don't know what it's going to take, and for most, they probably won't admit it, but he has proven a ton of people wrong with his play this season. And now the final player we have to talk about in today's video is JT Miller of the Vancouver Canucks, and he has proven a lot of people wrong, most notably Canucks fans themselves. I remember in the offseason when this trade initially happened, a lot of Canucks fans weren't too happy about it, and I guess it kind of makes sense because JT Miller wasn't coming off of an exceptional season with Tampa Bay or anything, and a lot of Canucks fans weren't happy that they had to trade away their first round pick to bring in JT Miller. But man, looking back at this trade now, where would the Vancouver Canucks be this season without JT Miller? And it isn't like JT Miller has just came in and been a solid top 6 forward. He has turned himself into a legit top line contributor and has been putting up big numbers all year. In 65 games this season, JT Miller already has 26 goals and 42 assists for 68 points, 3 points above a point per game, and look at his numbers last year, only 13 goals and 47 total points. And sure, his role in Vancouver is much bigger than the role he played with the Tampa Bay Lightning, but like, if the NHL had a most improved player award like the NBA, JT Miller would probably have to be the leading candidate in my opinion. It's been an amazing year for Miller, and I'm sure Canucks fans have no problem admitting that he has proven them wrong because, like I said, he has been a massive part of that team and is a big reason why they've had a pretty solid year. So that is going to do it for today's video. I really hope you guys did enjoy, and make sure to let me know down in the comment section below what NHL players have proven you wrong the most this season. I also asked that question on my Twitter. I got some pretty good responses over there. If you guys haven't followed me on Twitter yet, make sure to go down in the link in the description and follow me on there. I'm always interacting with fans and talking hockey over there, so that is definitely a good place to go if you have any hockey related questions you want to ask me. I probably have a better chance of answering them over there than I actually do in the YouTube comment section because there's obviously so many comments on every video. But with all that being said, if you guys did enjoy today's video, please make sure to go down there and drop a like on it. And if you guys are new here and you want to see more NHL content like this, then make sure to click that subscribe button, and I will see you guys all in the next video.